Hi, everybody. It's so nice to have you all here today with us once again. As Jeff had stated, this is our, well, I think it's our third technology webinar at this point. We will be doing another one on Friday as well. Hopefully you've signed up for that webinar. And at that point, we're going to be talking about social media, cleaning up your profiles, and making sure that you have a good email address, a strong email address that's professional. So we'll be discussing those on Friday. So today, our plans are to be able to review a number of different programs. There are some apps, and then there are different little pieces of different programs that are really helpful in organization and preparing yourselves for work and school. And so we're going to go over those. First off, though, I think that you guys who have been with me a few times on these know that I like to be able to get an idea as to who's here with us, who is it that's joined us for the webinar, and I like to be able to get to know a little bit about you guys. And so let's see. Just one moment. Jeff, are we seeing the PowerPoint presentation? Are you able to get that up? I think that you had stated that you were going to be doing that initially. Otherwise, I can pull it up.
It should, yeah. Did that show up?
I see it.
Okay. Let me see.
Do others see it?
Everybody is, okay, wait, here we are. Okay, yay, I got it.
Okay.
I guess everybody could see it but me, maybe, with the fact that I had, I've got so many windows up right now. So we're talking about technology and managing ourselves. I mean, there's a whole lot to do. There's a lot of screens. So anyway, we're going to manage ourselves and we're going to keep going. So I like to know who's here with us. And what I'm going to ask is that each person, specifically youth, if you could, I want to keep my youth here as a part. Think of a number for yourselves. You don't have to say it out loud. I don't want you to put it into the chat, nothing like that. Just kind of keep a number between 1 and 40 in your mind. Okay, so just pick a number and then hold on to that number between 1 and 40. Jeff, if you could go to the next slide. We are going to be going to a random number generator. And so if we click on this link, it should bring us right up to a place where it's gonna randomly generate a number. And so again, if you're, I can bring that one up right now. I have it on my screen if you want to stop sharing, then I can pull it. But,
Sure. Go ahead,
yeah,
Wendy.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, for me to offer such a thing, I'm getting a little more daring, huh? Let's see. It's all good. Like we said, we're all friends here. All right. So are you guys able to see the random number generator now?
Yep.
On my screen? Okay, perfect. And so I am going to click the number here. I'm going to do it one more time because we don't want the 1. So this will choose us a number between 1 and 40, and our number is 34. So from this point, what I'd like with whoever it is that chose number 34, you are, what we're going to do is we're going to be going to, all right, I don't want to be sharing this. I need to get to the PowerPoint.
Yeah, there you go. We see the number generator now.
Okay, perfect. And so we chose number 34 with the number generator, and we'll do it again after. But what I'd like is the person that had chosen number 34.
Looks like it's Carly.
Right here. And I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to give that back to you, Jeff, okay?
Okay.
Because I need to be able to pull up this. Okay.
So Carly, I'm going to ask you to unmute.
So that person is going.
So yeah, Carly, I just asked you to unmute, so
Yeah.
please feel free to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Carly.
And what
Your
school do
name
you
is
go to?
Carly.
Intermarket.
Nice.
Intermountain Academy. Yeah, very good. Excellent. And so yeah, I like to get to know folks that are here. So you had the lucky number 34. Each person who is chosen, I'm just going to ask a quick question. And so the question for you to answer is, would you rather kiss a jellyfish or step on a crab? Silly questions. You're not the only one to be answering. You don't need to think very seriously about it. It's to be silly. So if you had a choice between the two and you had to do them one or the other, would you kiss a jellyfish or would you step on a crab? Noah in the chat says, "Oh God, that's painful."
Kiss a jellyfish.
Yeah, you would kiss a jellyfish. I think I would do the same. All right, let's
Jay
see.
says
So I would like for us to choose neither. Yeah. Let's do one more number generator. Are we able to do that? Does that mean that I need to share my screen again, Jeff? I'll just choose one without everybody having to see the number generator. So once
fine.
again, everybody choose a number between 1 and 34. 1 and 40. The number was 34. Between 1 and 40, and we get the number 2. So who is it that had number 2? You'll introduce yourself, and then I'm going to be asking you a question as well.
Me?
Sure, Miguel.
Okay, so
Go
Miguel,
ahead.
did you have a number 2?
No, no, are you telling me I want a number 2?
Okay, so since you're outspoken and you're willing to share with us, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. What school are you from? And then I'll ask you a question.
Like, the school I'm from right now is Phoenix College, and I'm taking the courses that relate to the class.
Okay, excellent.
And my name is Miguel Velasco.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. And I'm going to ask you a question. So would you rather be born with an elephant trunk or a giraffe neck?
Maybe a elephant trunk.
An elephant trunk. And I'm not going to bother asking everybody why on their questions. That could just get too odd. So yeah, so that's fun. Excellent. Thank you for participating, you guys. I am going to have us now move on to our next pieces because Jeff is with us right now, as you see, and he is going to be talking with us about Trello. And this is a management program that you're able to use to organize yourselves. And so he's going to share a little information about that.
Yeah.
So Jeff, you have the screen share on as well?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen right now.
Perfect.
Okay, everybody. So Trello, Trello, Trello.com is a free web-based program that I've used to keep myself organized on a daily basis. I think it's really easy to use, and it has a lot of customization features to it. So if you see my screen now, I have the Arizona Wildcats football team here as my background. And I also am able to include pictures for some of my tasks here. So again, Trello, it's really a really good, a simple way to just organize your tasks throughout the week or even on a daily basis. So just to show you an example here on my screen right now, I have a daily tasks planner. And here on my left side, I have everything that I myself need to know or do every day. So it's a constant reminder for me, like, okay, yep, I am waking up at 7 a.m. every day. And I'm not sure what everybody's routine is, but I usually, when I wake up, I hear that alarm clock go off, I check my email. I check my email right away. And then since I'm in my email inbox, I also take a look at my calendar appointments for the day and then even take a preview of what's coming up tomorrow. And so after I do that, I prepare for my workday, and that's, brushing my teeth, eating breakfast, what have you, and taking a shower. And then I have make lunch for myself. And then I have here also like, okay, I'm planning on leaving work at 8:30, leaving for work at 8:30. So those are my daily tasks. And like I said at the start, it's a constant reminder of what I need to do to get ready for the day for myself. And so here is where this tool gets really cool because you can set it up to where you can have a task list for every day of the week. So here's for Monday, and you can just create these cards and name them whatever you want. So for example, I named this card Review Ongoing Project Tasks. And this is just an example, so I just use like a generic name. So if you go into this card, you'll see that you can set a due date for these tasks. You can make a task list, a checklist. And here I've done that for this particular card. So for this one, I want to review a business plan. I want to brainstorm new ideas. I want to create a draft. And then all of this leads up to a meeting with my supervisor on November 20th. But you can see that it's really easy to even add more tasks to this task list. So I can just simply add an item and say, let's see, say I want to meet with, I don't know, Garrett to just help, to just ask for more advice on this business plan. So I can say, schedule a meeting with Garrett. And then you just hit enter and it's there. And then you can even drag it to when you want to do it or when you, when you want to do it in according to the order of what you want your projects to go or the tasks to go. So as you can see, it's really easy. And then when you finish one, and I don't know about you guys, but I think it's super satisfying to just like cross something off a list. It's like, it feels good. I don't know why. It's like a little hit of dopamine, like, yeah, I got that task finished. And so when you do that, you can also, if you can imagine it, this is like a bunch of little sticky notes. So another task that I need to do is email Joseph about a project. So let's say, okay, I'm emailing Joseph, I emailed him, I can just move this over and to the completed tasks. And it's like, it keeps a record of what I've done. And it forces me to like be accountable to myself and say, yeah, I did it. I emailed him. And so I completed it and I moved it over and it's done. And then, when it's Tuesday, you can also set deadlines. So on Tuesday, I set a deadline for myself. Oh, it's overdue, but it's just an example. But yeah, it also gives you warnings, heads ups about, okay, this task is due today at 8:20 a.m. on Tuesday. Oh my gosh, I need to prepare for my webinar. And you can see here that you can even add details about the webinar, like, for this webinar, I need to go to this link and register for it. And then you can even add notes for yourself too. So in the activity, I added a note here that, remember to log on 5 minutes before the webinar starts. And then let's say, maybe I should take notes too. Reminder, take notes during the webinar, and you can save it. And it's just really cool ways to remind yourself and to just keep you on like focused and on track for a specific task. So that webinar is here, and it's, you know, it's due today because the webinar is today. And then, you know, let's say on my calendar, I have to meet with my supervisor for a quick check-in. You can put that in here as a card and set the due date as today, and it says due soon. So it's really nice that it gives you those warnings, gives you those alerts, so that way you know what's coming up and that you don't miss it. And let's see, what else can I talk about? So, oh, right, so the in progress, these are things that I have that I'm doing, like that are just ongoing, that I'm currently working on. So for example, brainstorm ideas. That's just something I'm just doing in progress. Like I'm just doing that. And, you know, I can take notes about, okay, I'm brainstorming. Let's say I have a great idea. I'll take a note about it. Had a great idea today. It was about where to go to lunch. So it's really cool that, you know, if you have an idea and like one of the things on your task list is to just brainstorm, you can just add it in there and it's recorded and you don't lose it. I mean, it's there always. And so other in progress tasks that I need to work on is like, oh, I need to schedule a meeting with my supervisor for Friday, or I set something for November 18th. Oh, I need to share my webinar notes with Kim on November 18th. So those are all in the in progress. And, you know, once I finish those in progress tasks, I can just move that over to completed. And it's just simple, just click and drag, and it's right there. What I also find really useful about this tool is that I can make notes about not just for work or for school. It's stuff like go for a walk, because, you know, we're all virtual right now and cooped up at home, or, you know, just stuck inside. So it's just really good to set a reminder like, you know what, I need to go for a walk. So I'm going to go for a walk. And when I do that, I'll just move it over to completed. And that's it for that day. Let's see. So similar to the daily tasks, I set up weekend tasks for myself too. And just like for the card about reviewing ongoing project tasks, I created for myself a Saturday task list. So when I go in here, I've set for myself like, oh, I want to go hiking. I want to do the laundry. I'm going to clean the kitchen. So again, this tool is just super helpful in just making sure that, you know, you set yourself up for success by giving yourself the tools that you need to really complete those tasks that you set for yourself. And again, it's not just for, you know, work like you see here. It's also for, you know, your personal daily life, just to make sure that you follow that routine and do the things that you need to do to just have just to, like I said, set yourself up for success. And I think that's all I have. I'll open it up to questions. So please feel free to put your question in the chat box. Noah asked, how did you make that schedule? Is this and Rhonda asked, is this an app on the iPhone? So yeah, I did how to make the schedule. Trello is super cool in that it also allows you to look up templates. And they have a ton of templates that you can use. So for the one that I just showed you today, I went to personal. It's gonna think for a little bit. And it shows you all of the personal templates that you can use. There's like a home workout organizer. The one that I used is the daily tasks planner. And so you just click there. And then it's gonna think for a little bit. And then you just use the template. and it just pops up. Here's like a preview of the template. So when you click use template, it appears in your boards. And then there it is. And then you can customize it, like I said, in any way that you want. So I added pictures. I made the make lunch for the day a picture of a sandwich. So it's super customizable. And then Rhonda, yes, there is an app on the iPhone, and I've actually downloaded it. And yeah, it's the exact, I don't know if you can see it. Hang on. Oh, it's kind of bright, not quite. Yeah. So yeah. There's the card for daily tasks, and then you can swipe over. You can see the other tasks there. Yeah, kind of. It's all blown out. But yes, there is an iPhone app. Carly, you asked, how can I be more organized? Yeah, Carly, that's a great question. Organization, you know, it takes some work to be organized, but the work that you put into it just pays off enormously. And if you just take the time to just think about, okay, what do I have going on this week? What are my due dates? What do I need to do to finish this assignment or this project? Just think about like what your end goal is, and then what tasks you need to accomplish to finish that assignment or project. That's kind of how I take my approach to that. Any other questions? Please feel free to type it into the chat box or raise your hand. I'll put the link to Trello again in the chat box. It's free. You can like I showed you, you can download it to your phone. You can go to the website. All you need to do is sign up using an email address, and then you just get started. Thanks, Lori. So if there aren't any other questions.
Yeah, so no other questions, you guys, on how to use this? We want to make sure that you know if you're interested in using this, it's free and available to any of you. And it's right online. Noah, you have your hand raised. Feel free to ask your question when you're ready, Noah.
Yeah, it looks like you're unmuted, so please go ahead.
I said, how did you get the program?
How do you get into
the program?
How did you get the program?
Oh, yeah. So it's totally web-based, meaning, you can open up your web browser, Chrome, Internet Explorer, Safari, and then just go to Trello.com. Trello.com. I'll put it in the chat box again. So just type that into your address bar, and it'll take you right there. And then it'll ask you for an email address just to make an account. So an email address, create a password. But once you do that, you're in. You can go in, look at those templates, find the template that you like to use, that works for you. It's all personable and customizable. So if there's if this particular way of organizing your week or your daily tasks, oh, Jeff, this doesn't work for me. This is, I don't like it. You can totally find a different way to, organize yourself and your tasks because it's super flexible and customizable. Question from Rhonda. Does this program have alarm reminders? Yes, it does. I believe it works on the app for a smartphone. You can set it up so that way if a deadline is coming up, it'll notify you through the app. And I usually, I don't know if, I think it also does it through the web-based platform.
Mhm.
But I haven't, not exactly sure where to do that. And I can look that up and I'll send that to you, Rhonda, if that would help.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little bell up on the top right-hand side
Oh.
of the page, and that might be
Oh,
where it is, but that's just my
oh
guess.
yeah.
So I'm
Nope,
not
yep,
sure.
you're right. So yeah, so right here. Sorry, it was covered up by the
Yeah, no worries.
by the Zoom video panels. But yeah, as you can see here, the notifications, you can allow desktop notifications. Oh, I have them blocked on my thing, but you can definitely just allow for the site if you have like blockers on your web browser. So you can allow, and then you can even have Trello send you an email saying, oh, you have this deadline coming up, and it'll send you an email. Brian asked if it links to Canvas or Microsoft. I'm not sure about that question. I know that I'm using a Windows-based PC, so I think so. Luis asked, they have Trello app on Android. I believe so. I only have an iPhone, but I think a quick Google search will, I believe they have it on
Yeah,
Android. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is as well.
Yeah.
And Brian, if you would like, you could always either, well, I think we have your email address. We could always look up the answer to that question and get back to you.
And I'll put my email address in the chat box too. So if anybody has questions about this platform, you can please feel free to email me. Carly, yeah, you don't need to have a phone to use this platform. It's web-based. So if you have a computer, a desktop computer, a laptop, even a tablet, this is something that you can easily access by going to Trello.com.
I believe even on Kindles, you're able to go on, because as long as you're able to access the internet. So anything that allows you to be able to access the internet will allow you to be able to do this and use some of these other programs that we're going to show. Yep. So no other questions? So this is a pretty good program. I think that it could be very useful for you folks at school to organize yourselves, even with work, you know, like Jeff has done here, to organize your work schedule as well. So thank you so much, Jeff. We
Yeah, you're
appreciate you
welcome.
offering this information. That's great.
And I will need to hop off. So
Okay, yeah, because you have another program to go to. So thank you so much for assisting us. We appreciate it.
Welcome.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, folks, so he is going to be leaving because he has other plans, another program to assist. And so I am getting my screen and I want to share with you the PowerPoint. Let's see. All right, are you guys able to see that okay? Are you seeing my screen? Yes, okay, perfect. And Lori, I know that I have you on as well in assisting. So if questions come up, if you could let me know in regards to the chat. It's hard to be able to see the chat box while doing this as well. Okay, great, thank you. So we saw Trello. Now what I'd like to do, let's see, all it takes is a little miss of a button. Okay, and so now we're going to be talking about a couple of programs that are available within Microsoft Word. So I'm sure that a number of you, or probably all of you, have used the word processing program, Microsoft Word. And within Word, there are learning tools that are available in order to be able to make things easier for you when you're, let's say, typing papers for school, or really anything that you're doing on your own, and writing a letter, let's say, the programs that are available in learning tools is helpful. And in order to, excuse me, I have to turn that off. So in order to be able to utilize those, what you would do is, let me see if I can do this within and show the screen. So you're going to go to a document within Word. And let's see, I think you guys probably are able to see this now. We're going to go down to File. Let me see if it's here. I'm hoping I've got the right spot here. Options.
So we're still seeing your PowerPoint, if that's what you want us to see.
Oh, you are? Okay, let me see. This is why I have Jeff on to help. Okay. So let's see. Let me try. I'm going to try that one more time. It's opening Word on my side right now. Okay. All right. So you probably are still not. You're probably just still seeing the PowerPoint screen, aren't you? So I may have to stop that one. Stop share there. And then I'm going to go back on. And then I'm going to go here. Do you see the screen now?
Yes.
Documents? Okay.
Yep.
Yay. Okay. And so then from there, you're going to go over to View. So up here on the top, you click on View. And then once you get to View, you are going, let's see, let me move this. The column. I haven't had to use this often, but okay, right here. So do you see my screen still where I'm circling Immersive Reader right here? So from all I did, I'll go back one more time just because all I did was open up the document. So we'll open up your Microsoft Word. From there, you go here to View, and then you click on Immersive Reader. And then when you do that, what's going to end up happening is, let's say I had items on my page and it was a document. Let's say it was a letter that I had written earlier and I just wanted to hear how it flowed and make sure that it sounds right. From that point, you're able to play and it will read everything that you have on that screen. So let's say you open a Word document that was a letter from somebody to you, right? You've already written them, they write back to you. You're going to go to View, you're going to go to Immersive Reader, and then from there, it's going to read that letter to you. And then it's going to be easier to be able to understand it. Sometimes it's more difficult for folks to be able to take in information when they're reading it themselves, but they're able to get more out of it when they actually hear it. At some point in the future, we'll be talking about those. So that's about, it talks about learning styles. And in school, you may have heard folks talk about the best way that you're able to learn. Some folks are able to learn differently. All these different programs that we want you to be able to know about, that's the purpose for them. It's to help us to be able to find different ways that we're able to learn better in order to be able to just improve ourselves. And not all of them are for everybody. You know, some will work for some people and then others will work better for other people. And by experimenting with them, you're able to find out which one is going to be the best for you. So on the bottom, if you could see on the bottom, I'm going to circle again here, it says accessibility. You know that if I had something that was pulled up and it would read, I would practice it, but I'm afraid the connection's so slow that it's not going to work. And so I'm not even going to go there. But it says accessibility, good to go. And so it's already at that point. So let's see, I'm going to close out on Word. And I stopped screen sharing there. And so then again, I'm going to share my screen one more time because I have to go back to pulling up our PowerPoint. Where are we? I'm not sure what we're looking. Okay, are you guys seeing my PowerPoint right now? You're muted, Lori.
We're seeing your desktop, it looks like.
My desktop.
Yes, we're seeing the desktop.
So that means are you able to see it from the screen?
Now we see a minimized version of it. Yep.
Yay, we're getting there then. Good. I'm going to do that. I have to slide things over in order to help myself out here. I love that you guys are patient. Thank you. As you know, tools and technology can be helpful, but it's not always just simple. So
You see it now.
if there's anything you're able to learn, though, is that we're able to be patient and work our way through regardless, and that's okay. So the next piece that I want you to be able to be aware of is within Google Suite. So Google Suite itself, when you go to the search engine and just open up Google, over on the, that's the next slide here, what you're going to see is that on the right-hand side, when you have the 12 little dots, with those little dots, when you open it up, then you're going to see this whole box here of a menu of all other programs, all other options that you're able to choose from. And sometimes it's fun just to go in and just click on things, play around with it. That's one way in order to be able to really learn, different programs, is to just experiment with them. You're not going to hurt it. You're not going to ruin the computer. It's not going to do anything. You may end up just creating collection of some sort that you don't need, but you can always delete that, and that's absolutely fine. But one of the things that I'd like you to be able to learn about is the program that's available, Collections, which is right here. So our next slide, let's see. I wish that I could, not from current slide, right here. Okay. Are you guys from right here seeing that whole slide? Oop, I guess I don't want to do that though. So I have to go back because I don't want to do that piece. When I do that, I lose being able to see anybody, so that wouldn't be able to work. So I'm gonna have to keep it right here on this. But what Collections does is you're able to create pages of any notes, anything online that you want to save, anything that you enjoy. So you can create similar to maybe the program Pinterest. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of Pinterest before. But what it is it allows you to be able to create collections of things that you're interested in. So let's say we were doing this for school and you had a project. And for your project, because your interest was photography, you decided that you wanted to be able to have a collection of different items on photography. So let's say it's a website on how to be able to change film. It's maybe another website that's giving you directions on all of the different types of filters and how you can use them. Then maybe you want to add some samples of some pictures that you've taken yourself. What Collections will do is allow you to be able to keep all of those things in one place. But on top of that, it will sync to any of your other electronic devices. So let's say I'm on my computer and I'm saving some pages, and then I'm out in the woods and I'm taking some photos, and I actually have my camera with me on my phone, and I decide that I want to add those to collections. You can do all of that right through from your phone, and you'll go back home and you go into collections on Google, and everything will be listed there. And you didn't have to, have your computer out on the road or wherever. You're able to do on your phone, and everything will sync. And the collections can be anything that you want them to be. So it even could be notes that you've written in regards to work. And earlier, Jeff showed us program Trello. It would be different. It wouldn't do the whole organization and task, but it's another place where you're able to save all of your different items. Let's see. So does anybody have any questions about that one there, about how to use that? Or you will be able to get to one thing I want you to know. I had listed for you also this web address at the bottom. So this web address on collections, if you click there, you're going to get a whole list of directions on how to be able to use collections. It will inform you what it's for, how to use it step by step at that web address, because I know that what I've shared is probably not clear enough in order to be able to go off on your own to be able to use it. But with that web address, it's going to give you everything that you need. And I believe what that does is it actually takes you to a video on YouTube that is just straight up directions all the way through. Okay. Brian said, I don't have Word. Okay, so that is fine as far as not being able to have Word. You wouldn't be able to use, of course, Immersive Reader as a result. But what you are able to use is there are other reading speech to text and text to speech programs available that you're able to look at. And then you would also be able to kind of have the same sort of possibility that you would if you had Immersive Reader. And I have a number of resources that I also want you to know about. And if you click on, Brian, I believe you're going to find him here. If you go to Transition to Adulthood, that website has a number of resources available that will possibly have other readers, because from that link, there were numerous other pages that will offer you guys a whole lot of information about your transition process going from school to work or school to continuing your education onto school. And so if you do a little search in there on this page and research the links that you'll get to from here, I'm sure you'll find one.
So
This
Rhonda's
right here.
Rhonda's wondering if you can link this to Pinterest.
If you can link to Pinterest from are you saying from collections?
Yeah, Rhonda, do you mean, yeah, collections.
Okay, so when I was reading up on collections, one thing that I found was that with Google Chrome, because collections is like they also have an extension through Chrome, you can connect Pinterest with collections. Like if you go into Pinterest, there is a way so that you can link the two, and you'll end up with like a little ribbon, a little flag, and that allows you from Pinterest to be able to also save to your collections list. And so there is a way to be able to do that. And when you go into the directions on collections on this link here that I had given you, it gives you information on how to be able to do that. So yes, the two are able to combine, which is really exciting. So I love Pinterest. So if you do as much as me,
that's great news.
you would love that. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to find out all the different things that programs are able to do, and they change up all the time. So one thing as far as technology, because it does change all the time, keep in mind that if you looked at one point, let's say even 6 months ago, to see if a program was connected to another, try again like 6 months later, because chances are they will have created a way for that to happen, because there's so many changes happening so quickly for all of us right now. Let's see, in all areas of our life, right? So I'm going to make sure, so this one is about Google Tasks, and we've just got the 10 minutes left at this point. But this Google Tasks is, again, a program within your Google Suite. When you open any Google documents, you can connect those to Google Tasks as well. Are you guys familiar with Google Documents, where you're able to actively make changes on documents? And again, it syncs to all of your different, phone and laptop and computer.
Yeah, I've used it, but I think I just use this general technology because Microsoft also does this with Microsoft off cloud. So both of them are good when it comes to syncing and saving your progress.
Yes, right. Good. Excellent. I'm glad that you found that to be helpful and sharing that piece. So there are so many different possibilities of what programs will do now. Many of the different programs out there have built into them accessibility features. And all you need to do is on each of your programs, do a little search for accessibility, and you will find a lot of different items that you're able to change up within the program itself to make it easier and workable for you. And a lot of folks don't know that it's within the program itself that you are able to do that. They'll think that you have to connect with a lot of other outside programs online or download apps, and that's not necessarily the case.
Wendy-
Nowadays, a lot of programs are inclusive.
Rhonda's
Yeah.
asking, can you create an MS Word document and then copy it into Google Docs?
Yes, yes. So absolutely. If you have a document that you have made through Microsoft Word, you are then able, when you go into documents, if you open it from documents, it's going to automatically transfer over, switch over to being a Google Doc file as well. And then you're able to utilize it within the Google Doc platform and then collaborate and share it amongst, a number of different folks when you share the link. Or if you want to work on it when you're on your phone, separate from your laptop, you'd be able to do that. So yes.
So Brian says it's very
that is a
finicky though at
possibility.
times. And Rita wants to know what.
Sometimes.
Yeah, technology, right?
It's technology.
And then Rita Alley wants to know is, will we be able to have access to this PowerPoint or the recording after this session?
Yes, yes. So because I purposefully developed this PowerPoint with lots of links specific to it, because what I want to do is everybody that had registered, we have the email addresses. So I will send out this PowerPoint to everybody that registered. That way you folks will have it. Okay. And I was speaking about the Google Tasks. So one other thing there is, in order to open tasks on your phone, you'll have this when you get the PowerPoint. These are all the steps in order to be able to do it. How to be able to create a list on your phone, because there is a Google Tasks app that you can download that would then connect with your Google Tasks that you have within your computer. And when you download that, it gives you the steps on how to be able to open it and then create a list. Let's say you want to switch from one list to another list. You can then also do that. And this is showing you how. Let's say you want to rename a list. Then this tells you how to be able to do that. This is only a portion of all of the different types of things that you're able to do with it. But there were directions on how to be able to do many more of these pieces when you go into Google. And if you go to the help, they actually have a number of different videos that were available. I had shown you these different resources. I want to make sure here in the last couple of minutes, we have summarize. This program was really, really cool for you guys. You're all at school still. Your teachers may think something else about this, but it's out there and it's available. So what Summarize does is, let's say that you had a paragraph that you were reading, or a whole page. All you need to do is, when you go to this link, this opens up a page where you copy and paste the item that you're reading into the block that pops up, and hit a button, and it'll summarize and give you all of the main pieces, topics out of that whole page. And it'll just list you all of the most important pieces they want you to know. And it gets rid of all the extra stuff. So by going to this page, textcompactor.com, again, all you do is anything that you're reading, you're going to copy and paste it. You plug it into the little box that comes up, and it'll just break it all down for you, make it a lot more simple. So I thought that that was a really cool program that was available. If you go here, www.visualdictionaryonline.com, which you guys will all be able to do, you have to have Adobe Flash Player for it to work. But what this does is, let's say there's a word and you're not sure what it is. You go to the dictionary and you're still not sure what it means when you're reading about it. Well, earlier I mentioned that we're all different learners. We have different learning styles. And the visual dictionary actually will show you in a little video and in diagrams how something works. So let's say you wanted to know how your watch was made. How does a watch work? Okay, what does it do? You can put in watch on Visual Dictionary, and it'll give you a description and a video and a demonstration for you to watch for whatever it is that you're looking for. And then you could find out. And so again, it's a really interesting way in order to be able to look things up. And then Mercury Reader, let's see. Okay. I had to remember for a second, what is this one? Because it's a funny name, Mercury Reader. Let me tell you what this one does. If you click on this link, this is going to take you to an app that is going to allow you, so that when you're going online, and when you're online and you're researching, there's sometimes when you're looking at certain pages, it's hard to see and read what you want to, because you have so many ads coming up, and then they have all these pictures in there and they say sponsored ads. What Mercury Reader does is it allows you to be able to, while you're researching online, filter out all of that extra content, so that all that you're seeing is the page you want to see. And so again, it's made for accessibility, ease of accessibility, so that persons that have difficulty, maybe have a learning disability, and you're trying to scan through information, and it's hard to see, like I said before, and find what you want to read with all these pictures and things coming up. This will clean that page up so that you're just looking at what you want to read. So that makes it a whole lot easier as well.
Wendy, back to
Okay.
the Adobe Flash Player. When Brian says, by the way, the Flash won't be accepted on Edge or Chrome starting 2021, for your information.
Oh, wow. That's good to know. So I would suspect that they would probably come out with a different version that would then, be available. I'm sure we'll get more news about that. Thank you guys for all of your helpful tips too. That's good to know. So yeah, there are times that certain programs are no longer available, or they no longer will interact nicely together. And, but when that happens, companies out there know that there are a lot of customers relying on those products. And so they're going to work to be able to come up with other ways to get around that. So I wouldn't be surprised if that'll change. And there's another way to be able to get, that information.
And Narissa says that these are all very helpful and she appreciates it.
Yay, I'm glad they're helpful. That's great. I'm hoping that they will be. And it just takes, again, trying them out and exploring and investigating and play around with them. You'll see there are so many different things out there available to you guys. So I'm not going to have time to go into all to the rest of these, okay? But let's just see. I want you to know they're available. So we have Task, which is an app that works with Outlook tasks. So if anybody uses Outlook as far as email, there's tasks available there. And in order to allow you to have the task list also on your phone and have it speak with Outlook, this is an app to do that. I had already mentioned typing accessibility into your search bar will allow you to be able to find out within your system, within your computer, where the options are to make changes to make it easier for you. Okay, so it might be that you're making your fonts bigger on all of the pages you're going to. Maybe you're changing the color of the screen so the contrast is different. And then that also helps with reading. There are a lot of different things. You can change the mouse to make it go slower or faster. If some of you have trouble, navigating that mouse, you can make the mouse bigger so it's easier to see. Sometimes it's difficult to find it when it's on your screen. You're like moving it around, where did it go? You can make it larger. There are a lot of different things that are available there. I also want to make sure that you guys know this. There are a lot of different things that our technology and apps can do to make things like life easier. And one of the other things it can do is clear our mind. So when we have technology and we're at that technology every day, all the time, and it's in our face, sometimes at the end of the day, it's nice just to be able to take a breather, right? Just slow things down. And these are 5 different apps that are available that are offering mindfulness. So does anybody here know what mindfulness means? Have you heard of mindfulness? We're going over just a couple of minutes, but we're almost done. I appreciate your patience. So mindfulness is, have you heard of meditation maybe? That's another way to think of it, is meditation. So mindfulness is clearing your mind, just like this little poster here, just stopping whatever is happening. Bring attention to yourself, where you are at the moment, what you're doing, rather than thinking about everything else going on around you. Take three deep breaths, right? And sometimes if we're anxious, we have a lot happening, and it's like, oh, I just need a break today. Sometimes that's when you just want to stop. Take 3 deep breaths. And then take notes of just a few different things around you so that you're bringing yourself back into your own presence. Hear, touch, see. So maybe you're listening to a fan. You can see a bird. You can, touch your desk. Just bring yourself back here to where you are. And then with whatever else you were working on, continue on. You're in a better headspace, another place in your head where you're clear, and then you're able to move forward. These apps, Headspace, Calm, Aura, Stop, Rethink, Insight Timer, all help you to do that sort of thing in their own different ways. Some of them have music, some of them have really calm pictures that will go through. And if you go to this website, you're also going to find a number of different ones available. Let's see. Now I want you to know that when you get this the PowerPoint, you're going to find, I also have a video embedded here. And what that video talks about is technology and how it's changing the future. And there are some primary points that it'll talk about, which is really kind of interesting, that a lot of the jobs that are going to be available in the future aren't even here now. So 65%, if you think about that, more than half of the kids going to school right now will be doing jobs that we don't even have yet. They're not even made yet. That's how fast technology is changing. Technologies aren't even developed to solve, so there are problems that haven't even been created yet that we will have technology to be able to develop and fix. So as you think about the future and all the technology out there, there are problems that will be coming that haven't even been thought of, that technologies will then be solving. It happens so quickly. There will be 10% of the population wearing clothes that are actually connected to the internet. So it's smart clothing that will then change color, change shape. You push a button and the clothes you have will be different, all because they're connected to a computer. I can't even imagine what that's going to be like. But to be having smart clothing, and then of course, we have artificial intelligence driving cars. It'll be cooking for us, shopping for us. So this is a really neat video. It's short and it's quick, and it talks about some of those changes. So I'm just going to list here also contact information for us if you guys want to make contact in the future. If you have any questions, this is our contact information. This here will take you to our employment webinar series in order to sign up and see what we have coming up for all the other webinars. And then we have my contact information. And then this is a landing page for our project. So let's see here. So where am I? I'm not screen sharing right now. Yeah, I was. I can't hear you, Lori. You're
We see your screens.
good. Perfect. Because mine says something different. Good. So does anybody else have any other questions? Are you guys all good for today? We're going to be sending out the evaluation link. I appreciate that you guys stayed on with us today. It was so good to have you. And I look forward to seeing you guys on Friday. Okay. So thank you all for joining. Did you have a question?
Yeah, like, it's just about, like, also about the FAFSA.
Can you say again? I'm sorry.
Is it also about the FAFSA thing?
FAFSA. Oh, financial aid. Yeah, not this webinar, not the one on Friday.
Right.
But you know what? FAFSA, the financial. So I'm not sure who was it that was asking the question. I'm not able to see, but what I wanted to let everybody know, FAFSA is about financial aid. So if you're looking to go on to college, it's free monies, grants that are available to folks by filling out a FAFSA form. And there's a website in order to be able to do that. But feel free to ask me, email me. Okay, so you have my email that was on the resource slide there. So feel free to email me as well. And I'm going to hit stop share there. We don't need to do that anymore. Okay. So any other questions? You guys aren't in a hurry to rush off today. I see that. It's good to have you on. So we have another webinar that we're going to be doing in just a little bit. We have a focus session with some of our schools. So thank you all for joining us, and we will see you again soon on our next webinar on Friday. Okay. You guys all take care. Good seeing you again.